Welcome back once again, everybody. It's Friday, March 4th, 2022. My name is Red Baron from FibbyCharts.com and the unfairadvantage.chat. Thank you very much for joining us. We got some breaking news here, a little inside information, as it were, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that because that's of lead importance, and that will this world-breaking news, our series of events that are about to take place are going to have effect on crypto. I don't want to belabor that too much. We're going to cover that here real quick at the top of the show. And then, of course, obviously we'll get into some this week's forecasts and what to expect from this. Give me a couple minutes here, and I'll be right with you. I'm going to go ahead and notify the troops, let everybody know that we're on air here. And I'm going to have a little bit of radio silence, same as we always do. And then we'll be right back here in 2 and 2. Thank you for joining me. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. It's usually just radio silence we got to do where I alert the troops and let everybody know that we're on air and stuff like that. I'm kind of a one horse operation here, so chief chef and bottle washer. So I got to do lots of things here before I can get the show started. So thank you very much for enduring my typical radio silence. How's everybody doing? That's always kind of the question to lead with. Well, I tell you, it's trying and troubling times, ain't it? So let's get right to the top of the news here. That is definitely not a spammy title card. The U.S. is prepping for something, guys. For those of you guys that are new to our live stream, thank you very much. Of course, obviously, we'd love to have you join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. That's our free Discord. Come on in, and of course, obviously, as we get through the charts here, I'll show you some of the stuff that we do, and we have some specials going on right now. We'd love to have you join our subscription service as well. So my name is Red Baron. I'm the chief pilot of this operation. And my son is in military intelligence, and so I'm also involved in several other things that I have access to a lot of people who know a lot of stuff. I know some things, so I have been kind of reticent to really spook people about what I know. However, for the last 6 months, probably even longer than that, I've been telling my group, folks that have been with me for a while, what to do to get ready for what I can't really talk about and what I'm not completely clear on. And these things that I'm telling you or have told you are now starting to come to pass. I wasn't wrong. Love to be right. This is not one of those times when I want to be right about it. So, what's the big news? Well, some of you, if you're paying attention, have military family, and you'll notice that there's been an active call up. I'm in a special situation where my son, when my son when my son gets called up for his participation in this, it's the last shoe's about to drop. Let's just say that. I have to kind of be cautious because I don't want to give away his background and stuff like that. But he doesn't get involved, or he's not in it until it really gets serious. And so he got called up yesterday. And so yesterday, today, tomorrow, the next day, he's 4 days. And he normally doesn't go in 4 straight days. His base is on lockdown. They're going through drills. They're doing. He can't really talk an awful lot about what's going on, but I'm observing things and hearing stuff on my own. We are we are getting ready to answer what's going on in Ukraine. From my sources and my people that have allowed me to say a little bit, China's going to move on Taiwan, folks. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. My estimation, or the things that I'm understanding, probably within the next 14 days. Certainly by the end of this month, I think we're going to see an incursion into Taiwan, or the first foray towards that. That's all well and good. You're sitting in your comfortable little life in the Western world, and that's going on the other side of the planet. Well, let me tell you what, it's a very, very small planet. If you're in crypto, it's going to affect you. Now, I have heard, again, going back to my history and what makes me an authority, air quotes, what makes me an authority on this. I'm a 35 year investor in multiple disciplines. You're not listening to what I laughingly call a skateboard kid, another hype person. I've been all over the planet. I've touched the ground in basically every continent. I've had my hands in businesses all over the world. My vast experience in what's going on in the planet and my connections and stuff like that. I've got folks in Ukraine right now that are feeding me live streams that would never make it 3 seconds on YouTube without getting banned. So when I speak to you only from authority and only from knowledge and only from, I don't want to spook the troops, as it were, and I don't want to give people false information because, if you act on someone's false information, it has real profound effect, and I'm very cognizant of that. So I'm very cautious not to put anything out there that's going to make anybody make any bad moves. So if I speak because I want to protect you guys, because I love each and every single one of you, and I want you all to do very, very well. It comes from a place of protectionism for me. I like my fans, I like my subscribers and stuff like that, and I want all of you guys to do well. So when I bring something to the table and I say something to you, I say it with absolute conviction that I think that this is the best thing for you, or that you should be paying heavy attention to that. So we'll get all that out of the way. But I've been talking about getting into silver, protecting yourself, and prepping for food and stuff like that. These are things you've heard before, but I've been giving real world explanation as to why and giving you time frames and stuff like that. So let's just off the cuff here real quick. Let me jump on to another thing here real quick. Let me call up my regular platinum charts while I'm on that thread of thought. This is platinum, by the way, not platinum pro. So let's get down into the silver. So I was telling you guys for a long time, silver wasn't quite it yet, but then all of a sudden I flipped and I said, better get into silver, better get into silver. And I've been calling the silver prices along the way. I've been buying along with these arrows and stuff like that, and I forecasted when these things were going to go up and down, and I told you, I made a purchase, a very large purchase right here, and I said, you guys, it's time to get into silver. Don't play around, and I was really, really talking up silver an awful lot more. Now you can see why. You know, when I speak from authority. I knew this was going to happen. You know, I wasn't liquid enough. I made another buy right here. This was a very, very large pallet size order right here, but this one was pretty darn good too. This is not done. I had forecasted this zone way back here to be where we would touch off. We hit it once, we hit it twice, and now we're at the top of the zone on the third time. The party is just getting started. Kind of a poor party you wouldn't want to attend, but the party is just getting started. So if you guys have not paid heed to what I'm saying about silver, now is the time. Now. Yesterday would be too late. I would definitely get in as fast as you possibly can. Speaking along that lines, it's probably time to, you know, I've said this a couple of times. It's not a wise idea to be keeping your money in the bank. If you have any amount of money that you think you might need to survive, it would be a very poor idea to be letting that sit idle in your Wells Fargo, your Chase Bank, your Bank of America, any of them. Even if you're at a credit union, any of them. Get your damn cash out of the banks. Get your gas tanks full. I'm ringing the alarm. I'm screaming from the hilltops as much as I possibly can. This is the week where things are going to start coming home to Western Shores. As I said before, my son's in military intelligence, and he's been scrambled, and so we're about to give our answer to Ukraine. Now, what that answer is, I can't say. That's above my pay grade, but you know, we're bringing in the heavy artillery now at this point in time. So we are currently actively in engaging in a war, whether it's being reported or not. So a couple more things I want to cover here. I'm reading through the chats here, so pardon me if I just trail off. Yeah, those base-wide power outages, that's kind of bullshit, too. You know, I listen to, I don't want to segue here too much, but I listen to Trump talk about how our military is more prepared than ever. Oh, horse crap. Horse crap. My son, when he was going through basic training, was down in Texas during all that bull crap that was going on with the power outages and stuff like that. They were without power for 2 weeks, without water. I mean, it was a shit show. It was an absolute shit show. That's a prepared military? I think not. I think not. So, you know, you do what you got to do with what you got, but nonetheless, I don't buy the hype. Trump says we're more prepared than we've ever been. I beg to differ. So, anyway, all we can do is hope that they're about as ill prepared as we are, and something tells me probably not. So China definitely has got the numbers behind them. You know, they can still run a pretty sloppy ship, but with their 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 people to us ratio, you know, they don't have to be on point to still be able to be dominant. So, and then you got Russia and stuff like that. All right, so we didn't want to get too far off the point here. So what I'm telling you is this. We're going to discuss in today's show what I think the market is going to do here for the next couple of days. You know, I'm a contrarian, guys. Everybody's talking about, oh, this is going to be good. You know, I've heard a couple of other YouTubers talk about how war is going to be great for crypto and people are going to flood into crypto. I'm going to give you an absolute case against that. I don't believe it. I've said this multiple times as to why. I'm a student of human nature, deep student of human nature. Been watching people in all forms of credit and how they handle money and stuff like that. It's my business to know this stuff. And being a student of human nature, I can tell you emphatically that the things that the people on YouTube are telling you about how everybody's going to flood into crypto, that's not how it's going to work. So we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Bitcoin, see what's going on here. We are seeing, of course, obviously a little bit of a pump. Let's go ahead and get back on to platinum. Let's see here. All right, so this is Platinum Pro. By the way, here real quick, you can notice we changed our title cards. So obviously, if you guys would like to subscribe to our charts that I'm using here, be able to access the calls that I'm doing right now, you can go ahead and do that at VeCharts.com. That is this website right here. And all you do is just simply go to the main page, just go to subscribe right here, drop that down. And if it'll work with me here, there we go. Drop it down. Just pick yourself out one of these programs right here and go ahead and get yourself involved. we have different price levels. You can get involved, and $29.95 is our basic. However, I do suggest if you want to be able to get my daily calls and my daily input and stuff like that, get in at least at VIP Gold. I do videos like this quite often that are not publicly available, and of course, obviously, if you want the best of the best, if you're trading over $10,000 in crypto and stuff like that, you want to have the very best tools that are available. It's well worth your time to have VIP Plus, which is Platinum, and of course, obviously, we do have Platinum Pro is about that. The difference between gold and platinum, I've been asked several times, is we have a second level of chat where I don't always give all the good stuff to the gold. Sometimes I give it to my upper echelon people and stuff like that. You know, with cost comes access and stuff. So platinum is basically our best that we've got. Platinum Pro is our best trading platform. So consider doing that here. And by the way, if you hang with me here, we do have 10% off of subscription, I believe, if you use a coupon code YouTube, all capitals, no gap. Capital Y-O-U, no space, capital T-U-B-E. You can get 10% off of these prices here. So be sure to take availability of that while it's lasting. As far as I know, that's going on for next couple of days easily. All right. So we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get back to this. So let's take a look at the one-day Bitcoin, see what's doing. So, you know, again, I take no pleasure in being right in all this, but, you know, it's fun to be right nonetheless. I had marked this as basically being the hardcore resistance. Last night I told you guys that we had to pierce through this thing, and I had faith that we were going to do that. And here we are back down, piercing through it back into the channel and stuff like that. So we're regaining our drop to the downside. So I want you to pay attention. Let's go ahead and de-accentuate that for a second. I want you to pay attention to this channel right here. So what happens with this channel right here is we're basically getting, we'll just talk a little TA here. So basically we're coming down, we're going like this. So I would expect to move downward easily. And we already are progressing. If you're looking at the indicators right there, you can see that the Snapdragon is rolling with the green going below red, below blue. She's losing steam and dropping hard, or dropping fast. Same for here, same for here, same for here. Bollinger Band is closing. So there's nothing. We're 5 for 5. There's nothing bullish about this scenario. So we're back on our way. So this little exuberant pump right here that happened, this could be a lot of things. It could be manipulation. You can always got to kind of think about that a little bit. But what I think it was probably the early prepared and the hype train people saying, oh, war's going on, Bitcoin, this is where you want to put your money. And a lot of people were probably taking that, you know, and you can see about how little to no effect that basically had on the bigger picture. So the flood, air quote, the flood into crypto right now, that's it. That's all you get. We're back on track to the bottom, guys. So again, to go back for the guys that are new on live stream here that haven't been fans of the show, haven't been with me for a very long time, I'm still forecasting $22,000. We are going to get down to $22,000, even potentially lower. So that's my first hardcore target. Let me get all this trash off here real quick. I'll go back and recapture all that a little bit. Put that back there. Let's open that up a little bit. How are you guys liking this TradingView change? I am not a fan. TradingView, don't even get me started with that. They've done a number of changes, none of them good, and now it's hard to find what I'm looking for now. They made these icon changes. I think in their infinite wisdom they thought that was better, but it just made shit more difficult. So anyway, going back here to take a look at our targets. So we're looking at, we've achieved this a couple of times, 35, let's just call that 35.5. Our next one we're watching for is 29. Below that, I've got an alarm set for 25,000. So 29,000 is going to be happening here fairly soon, guys. Fairly soon. Now, what's this mean to the rest of the market? Well, where Bitcoin goes, so does the rest of the market. And so we always watch it. We watch a few indicators, but Bitcoin's always one of them. I haven't bought Bitcoin for years, but I watch it. I watch it because I know it affects the stuff that I do hold. So 29,000 is where we're still watching. 25 below that. Ultimately, we're going to get down here at 16,000. And yes, folks, if you're new to live stream here and never seen, that's a serious number. I am telling you, I expect it to get down this low, possibly even lower. But I think, you know, we don't want to be greedy. We want to take. The reason why is because our automated intelligence, long distance forecasts, AI bots have said so. They've predicted 16,000. They've predicted 12.75, and lo and behold, they've even predicted a potential long shot of 9,275. Bitcoin. Bitcoin at under $10,000. You don't hear too many people saying that, but I'll tell you right now, if you guys have been around for a while, you know how accurate this system can be. Sometimes it takes a while. And Anubis is it's spooky accurate, guys. It's been vacuuming up statistical data for going on close to about a year now, and every single day it gets more data, more data, more data, and it gets smarter and smarter and more dialed in and more dialed in. So yeah, I have no doubt in my mind, we're going to be sub 12,275 before she's all done. Before the fat lady sings, we're going to be down here in this area. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get that off the table here. So Ethereum for just a good long time has really just kind of been contrary to whatever. It used to be kind of moving the same general direction as Bitcoin. Not so much anymore. So lately I've been showing you that we're in a triangle here. We've gone from top of the triangle to bottom. Here would be an example of a long distance forecast. I said we're going to drop clear down here, and boom, right down there to the line, baby. So I like to kind of show those old hits for the guys that are new on live streams here. So here we are. So are we going to be completely out of this triangle? Not yet. I think that we've got probably a couple weeks or so. Potentially, let's just take it to the end of that triangle. Potentially, we've got 20 days. I don't think we're necessarily going to go there. I'm thinking probably within the 14 days, somewhere right about here. I think we're going to probably break formation. So somewhere within that general block right there, I think we're probably going to drop out. Again, because that's related to the stuff that I was telling you from earlier with war. But I can tell you that the news is definitely not reporting the stuff that's going on in Ukraine here. While I'm back on that thread, I have a gal. You guys who know who I am and you know my history, I talk about my personal life all the time. So I have an adorable little Ukrainian gal who's sitting on the bed. You want to say hi? No. No. Okay. She's off microphone. You can't hear her anyway. So I have my girlfriend who's from South Carolina. She's part American Indian and part Ukrainian. Yeah. So she has family in Ukraine, and so she's here spending a couple weeks with me here. And you know, so we're watching what's going on. However, I do have some associates and some people that I know over in Ukraine, and they're sending me some absolutely horrific firsthand, right off the balcony shots. You know, the place is turning into Bosnia and Croatia rapidly, folks. This stuff is not being reported, not at all. I've had talks with my son, who, again, military intelligence. He's got drone footage. He sees this stuff from eagle eye view. Yeah, we're not getting the truth. If you're picking up your information or forming your view of the world off of CNN or Fox or really anywhere other than from people who are on the ground, you might get a little bit sneaking in under the wire off of some alternate social media and stuff like that. I can assure you, you're not seeing even 1/10, even 1/50th of the reality of what's going on over there. The place is absolutely a wasteland. It's just getting bombed. They are firing on citizens there. And you know, they're literally going house to house, and it's bad. There's fighting in the streets and stuff like that. You know, tanks are occupying main downtown and stuff like that. This isn't like, hey, they're going to be in town at some point in time. They're already there. They're going house to house, sweeping that place out, and it's really bad. The gal that sends me videos and stuff, she's been hiding in the basement for like 2 weeks and stuff, and she's literally had bombs dropped like across the street from her house. I question the logic of whether she should be inside a basement of a house, but you know, what else are you going to do? But I mean, I'm seeing the huddles of masses of little children, and it absolutely breaks my heart. You know, they're bombing maternity wards. It's bad, guys. So when we step into this, you know, with our glorious, illustrious leader, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you any better than the next person how we're going to react to this. However, this would be a good time to kind of segue into market sentiment. However, you know, we're going to have to make a good show of it or try something or whatever. We're going to do something. We're going to do something. And when we do, so let's talk about this. When we do, so we've seen a little bit of pump that's happened in Bitcoin. I've explained this numerous times, but I think it bears several repeats for the guys that have never heard this before. This is how human nature works. Generally speaking, when we have a tragedy, it is our human nature to naturally draw everything close to ourselves. We don't run out and put things outside of our realm of control, which would be 6 feet outside of ourselves. So, we all, each and every one of us, operate inside of a bubble, as it were, and anything outside of that bubble is theoretically outside of our control. And psychologists have a term for that, but I won't get highfalutin on you here. But basically, there is a term for that explains, you want to have everything within your visual control, within quick grabbing distance. And by that, I mean your family, your money, your food, your toilet paper, your blah blah blah, your food, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as it were. And so, the very notion that people will float the idea that people are going to put buttloads of money into Bitcoin, into an intangible object. Let me attack it this way. Think about your average person that's out there. Can you seriously say the average person has a grip on how to invest, on smart things to do with their money? I mean, you see some stupid crap. I certainly do. I used to buy foreclosures. You see some stupid stuff people spend their money on. Oh, I got to get that new iPhone. I got to get that new Samsung 22 or whatever number we're on. That is not the mark of somebody. That is not the type of person that you seriously would expect me to say is going to look at all of his wealth and say, okay, well, I need to put some eggs in the future basket, protect my net assets and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do the logical and prudent thing and put it into silver or put it into gold or put it into blah, blah, blah. Those people don't exist on the scale that some of these YouTubers would like you to believe. Can we agree on that? I think we can. But here's what happens. Consider yourself in a scenario like these folks in Ukraine. If you've got bombs dropping in your neighborhood, stuff like that, are you on Coinbase buying Bitcoin? No. You're in panic mode, fight or flight. You're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I got to go hide in the basement. I got to get everything that's important. I need some water. I need some this. I need some that. And if you got moments of how do I want to put this? If you've got just a moment of clarity, you're thinking about your money. But what are you going to do with your money? You're going to get it out of the bank. You're going to run on the bank. You're going to go to the ATM if they'll let you have your money, and you're going to take that. You're going to keep it in your pocket. So that's what's going to happen, guys. And if anyone tells you differently, I'm here to tell you I doubt it. And I will be right. I will be right. Because this is the way people work. I've lived in many third world countries and I've observed it. I've dealt with people who are in foreclosure. I've watched how people get it. You don't go buy a house thinking, someday I'm going to lose this. No. For the same reason, you don't go buy a lottery ticket thinking, oh, this couldn't possibly not work out for me. So people are not long distance thinkers. They're not long term thinkers, and so they're hand to mouth kind of people. By and large, there are some cagey people, and that's my group. I like to give you guys better credit than the average person. Some of us happen to look into the future and say, hey, I'm gonna go buy me some silver. And look at this. I went and bought silver, and now we're up, 14%? Not too bad. I'm one of the very few people, and hopefully some of you guys that listen to me are some of the very few people on this planet that are up 14% on their money. Not too shabby. And we're going to be up a lot more here pretty soon. So as far as crypto goes, there has been a move for me to get back into physical because I don't know. We've been hearing an awful lot about how I didn't read up on the news and stuff like that. What's the deal with MetaMask? Did somebody buy up MetaMask and now they're starting to? God damn it! I hate it when I'm right about all the wrong things. One of the banks, if I remember correctly, just bought up MetaMask, and so now they're starting to limit how you can use your MetaMask, which was before. That was plan A, was, hey, I'll just hide my money in MetaMask. And, well, now you can't do that because now it's controlled by the banksters. Again, I told you guys that these private wallets are going to become a thing of the past. I told you this probably 7-8 months ago, and you're starting to see it right now. This is why I am moving back towards silver. I'm not moving away from crypto. This is a crypto-based channel, but, at the same time, we have to take a world view. We have to understand that you know, if you get mono-focused on one thing and you look up and you go, well, hell, I thought crypto was supposed to be the you know, the great savior. I'll tell you right now emphatically, no, it's not. It's not. We have a small window of time to make our money and get the hell out of this stuff. For me, it's within the next 6 to 8 years. Eventually, I'm going to be moving all my stuff into hard assets and be out of this crypto stuff. Eventually, you know, this is the Wild West, folks. It's getting wilder and wilder every single day. You know, you just, the rules change, the sand shifts under your feet every single day, and you just never know. So, but metals, you know, knock wood. It's been here a lot longer than we have, and it's still going to be here. You know, I mean, I don't care if you got electricity or you're back to the back to the Stone Age or not. Metal is metal, always has been, always will be. Crypto, not so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to this. Every once in a while, I kind of want to throw in those little thoughts and stuff because I've got just too much stuff going on in this big brain. Once in a while, I got to kind of purge it. So thank you very much for enduring some of my side stories. All right, so this one right here, I want to address this one because I have a lot of stuff I kind of want to get off my plate. XRP, I read a little bit. I read with great amusement. I read some of the speculation from people that just don't understand how money works on this planet. They just don't. And they're saying, well, you know, XRP is Russia's being cut off from the SWIFT system, and you know, SWIFT is going to be replaced by XRP. Yes, it is. It is. You know, so Russia is just going to just use XRP, and our XRP is going to go to the moon. It's going to be great. Wrong. Russia has too much money to be able to do that, and XRP is not ready for prime time yet on that level, on a governmental thing. Forget all the stuff that you see in YouTube talking about this, because it's complete crap. Russia is not going to just flip over to Ripple, although they do have contracts with Ripple. You know, they have a little bit, but where Russia is sitting pretty is they got gold, folks. They got shit tons, metric shit tons of gold. I mean, hell, their buildings are lined with gold. I mean, they're just everywhere. Gold, gold, gold. Metals. And they have, and they've for a very, very long time. Not only that, but they can make do with a far lot less than we can. And so, you know, they're going to force their citizens to make do with a far lot less. So, you know, they don't have to have the wealth that we do to be able to maintain. So, it doesn't really matter to them. And so metals is where it is for them. So they're not too terribly concerned. You know, whatever you think of Putin, whatever you think of his battle plan and what he's doing against NATO and the world power and stuff like that, that's beyond the scope of this channel. But I'm here to tell you that, you know, all I'm interested in is all these nut jobs and, you know, all their world domination plans. How's that going to fuck up my wallet? That's what I want to know. And that's, I think, what you guys want to know is, like, you know, these jokers, every time they step to the plate, they do something that affects my bottom line. It pisses me off. So all it is me trying to figure out what they're doing and how it's going to affect me personally, and then sharing that with you guys. So I view metals as being you know, they're in metals, so I would be in metals. At the end of the day, you can always, like I said, the power grid gets shut off, then it is what it is. You've got something to trade with. So back to XRP. You can very clearly see. Let's step back through the last 2 or 3 days here. You can very clearly see I have an overall broad channel I told you that we're inside of. I gave you a smaller one inside of here. We're stuck within this, and we pierced to the bottom of the larger one. We haven't fallen out of this. I showed you easily a week ago that we're going to probably right, you know, 3, 4, 5 days more into this, and then where are we going to go from there? Well, very clearly, let me show you. And this, by the way, was a sell. I sold out, and something I don't do very often. I sold out XRP because I'm repositioning myself. I'm a top 1% of 1% owners of XRP on the planet, but I don't. You know, you can always have more. So, but the XRP's day in the sun is not ready to happen just yet. I'm forecasting down in here, 22 to 25 cents, right in that range. I'm sticking to my guns. I've been telling you guys for well over a year, this is where it's going. And you can see, we're getting there. We're getting there. Is there any doubt? Little by little by little. Now, have we had any nuke strikes? Have we had any tsunami? Lately, there's been an awful lot of talk about tsunamis. lately with a lot of YouTubers. Isn't that kind of funny? I told you that we should probably be my 21 grip. I told you we should be watching the East Coast for a tsunami. I told you this 6 months ago. Now all of a sudden everybody's talking about we might get a tsunami. We might get something on the East Coast. Yes, I told you it was coming, and it is coming. Now what's going to probably trigger that is probably an underwater nuke. It's going to cause something that's going to send waves, and it's going to take out the East Coast, folks. That's what they want. So we won't get into that. But anyway, back to XRP. Russia's not going to save themselves by using Ripple. They're going to save themselves by using metals. So you can very clearly see that nobody was buying that story because we didn't even get a pump based on that. The war started somewhere, the quote-unquote war started somewhere around about here. We had a little bit of a run-up pre to that, but it didn't even pierce past my channel and stuff like that. So typically speaking, if you're looking at something like this, what you're looking at, let's just go ahead and pull out the LTA hat. If we've got something going down like this and we're going into a flag here, we're going to go down even further. So no surprise whatsoever. No surprise whatsoever. So if you guys are looking to buy XRP, don't buy it yet. Don't buy it yet. We've got our next base of support is going to be around about 62.5 cents. When we see that, we'll probably walk along it for a little bit, but make no mistake about it. We're going to capitulate. We're going to drop. The end goal, the end game ends right here in the pie, right there in the green pie, 22 to 25 cents. Now we could see that speculating. If I could throw this out there. I'm not saying this is gospel, but when could we see that? I would. It's feeling to me like probably within the next 90 days we could very well see that. I mean, does that sit well with all you? I mean, as we get into summer, as things really start to get nasty and the heat really gets cranked up, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? I can easily see within the next 90, certainly within the next 120 days of seeing XRP finally achieve this goal. Now, as I've said this many, many times, we're not going to just meander down to 22 to 25 cents, hang out there until you get damn good and ready and get your Friday paycheck and then be able to buy that thing at your leisure. No, 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 no. This is going to be a slam down. Then the big money opportunists, that's me, and some other people that are on my level and higher are going to come in and we're going to buy the crap out of this. And so it's going to go down, wham, and it's going to go back up. So if you are wanting to set your buys, I would advise highly you get your buys set now. I use KuCoin, and I don't normally come by using KuCoin out of default. It's just if Coinbase were trading XRP, I probably would use that, whatever, just because it's easy, it's familiar, whatever. But I'm on KuCoin because as an American, that's the best that I can do for buying XRP price wise. So anyway, I would suggest that you get your buy orders leveled in for certain areas that you want to be in and do it, because you cannot live buy this. It's going to move so fast that you're probably going to be locked out by traffic or shutdowns or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll do XLM too. You have to get that as long. So just want to make sure you guys understand this. So now is not the time to buy XRP. It's coming though, guys. It's coming. So same goes for XLM. XLM is, it's. I did want to look at something here real quick. So price currently is 71. Price on XLM. Seeing if we're running that 3-to-1 ratio still. Yeah, about there. But we've been averaging around about 3.5 to 1 XLM for well over 6 months. I'm waiting for that to kind of start to come together a little bit, and I haven't revisited this concept for a while. But I do when things move. I expect XLM to move markedly faster and be more profitable in the short term, because you don't have the lawsuit. There's just less baggage on it, and it's a cheaper coin. So obviously, going from 17 to 32 cents or 34 cents is a lot easier than going from 70 cents to $1.40. It just makes good common sense. So. But let's take a look at this. So, it really, that's a hell of a call, guys. We're 2/3 of the way to a call. I mean, I gave you guys way back. I gave you guys a 75% price drop forecast. Look at this. We're doing it. We're doing it. and we've got second confirmation right here. We're gonna be down here into the probably anywhere from 10. Let's just call it bottom 10 cents to 10 to 12 cent range. We're gonna be there before too long, but we're not done. I have an even lower forecast. So to get down to about a nickel, down to about 6 cents, it doesn't even ruffle my feathers at all. I think it's very, very easy that we can do that. Going from, where are we at here? Going from here to here. That's 68%. Yeah, you've heard the so-called experts and the people that have been talking say, we could get a 70 to 80% drop, and I'm in complete agreement about that. I was one of the very first people that have told you that we were going to be getting that. But the question is from where? I mean, right now we're in a pretty declined market, and you're telling me we're going to go another 70%? Yeah, we very well possibly could. But forecast, I would be perfectly happy buying XLM at 10 cents. If I can get it for 8 or 9 cents, that's great. But you cannot, no matter how good your tools are, no matter how good your forecasting are, at the end of the day, it's luck. Buying the bottom is luck. And if anyone tells you differently, then they haven't been in the game long enough. But to get prices like, we'll talk about Theta in a minute, but I bought Theta, and we'll discuss this concept again on Theta. Buying the bottom, you can't, because you have such a thing as market manipulation. If all goes well, I can tell you where these things are going to go and stop, but I can't tell you if they're going to go further down, because market manipulation, market sentiment, change of news, lots of things. And this is a living, breathing organism we're dealing with here, guys. What's true on Monday is far from true come Friday. That's for all markets, always has been, always will be. So one of the biggest issues I've seen with a lot of neophyte investors and people that are joining me that are new and stuff like, well, you told me the price was going to be. Yes, I did. And then Tuesday came and Wednesday came. This is why you've got to monitor your investments, because things change. I don't harp on this very much, but because I don't like to scold you guys once in a while. I have to. When you take a position, and we've talked about this a number of times, the ultimate thing you have to do is you have to look at the entire market and say, okay, well, do I like this price? I mean, all things being equal, okay, well, do I like a price of, right now we're at 17.178. Do I like a price of XLM 0.178? That's not bad, considering where things are going to go here in the next couple of years. It's not a bad price. I'm not in love with it. I see the forecast. I see what's possible to go. Do I like 10 cents? I like it a lot more. So if I make a purchase at 10 cents, and then all of a sudden I see it go 9 cents and 8 cents, am I still, 10 cents is not looking as sexy now, is it? So what's the first thing the neophyte investor does? Well, I'll just sell, and it's still going down. That's the problem that I see with a lot of people that invest. They don't understand. You have to like your position or don't take it. It's not a matter of how low it can go. It's, does the purchase make sense when you make it? Is the upside greater than the downside? Okay, great. So you got it at 10 cents. And it goes down to 7 cents or even 6 cents. Does that mean you're wrecked and ruined and destroyed? No. It means that, you've got two choices. You can, three, if you want to be stupid, you can sell and take a loss and hope for it to go even lower, which that's a bad financial strategy. We don't preach that here at the unfairadvantage.chat. But if, you can stick it out at 10, watch it go down there at the bottom, buy more if you're a little liquid to be able to do that, or just hold your position and know this too shall pass. As sure as she swings down, she'll swing up. So you got to kind of get a grip. The hardest game you will ever play is the one that's between your ears. It's true. It's very true. I watch it on a daily basis. I watch it with you guys. So I'm here to administer cryptotherapy and scold you when you do something stupid. So, scaling in, if that's your thing. I'm not a big scaling in person. I'm a degenerate gambler at heart. So, do as I say, not as I do. But so while I'm at this, I think I've beat this horse enough. Let's go over the Theta here, and I'll illustrate my point a little bit better. So Theta. Now let's talk about why I did what I did and what I did. All right, so I went 125. I'm sharing prices these days now. I don't want you guys to. I'm not flexing on you. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to show I'm better than you. I'm showing you my level of conviction when I'm giving you these prices that I'm doing. You know, it's public knowledge that I've got money. It's public knowledge that I'm, I'm doing pretty well for myself and stuff like that. But I'm giving you these prices to be able to illustrate to you my level of conviction on what I'm doing. So that's let's have that understanding. All right. So anyway, I took $125,000 purchase right here. Why did I do that? Well, because I'm looking at this and I'm watching green candles. Now, normally when you see 3 green candles like this, a break and a run, we were ready for going, and we were going to walk our way up the channel here. So I'm watching for this line right here. This is going to give me a 25% return or better, That's the short-term play. All right, so I can play this the long way, or I can play this the short way. So right now, she's gone down. So this is exactly my point that I just made here. So I just made a purchase at 325. Now, the first question that I asked myself, do I like Theta at 325? Yeah, I kind of do. Do I like it at $2? Sure. Do I like it at 284? I like it better. But the thing is it's going to break my heart owning this at 325. If I can manage to control that thing between my ears, I'm going to do just fine. Please don't lose any sleep on my behalf. I'm going to do just fine. I'll go play in another sandlot while this thing sorts itself out, because I am perfectly fine in the knowledge that $3.25 is a price y'all would have begged for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months ago. Am I right? I'm right. So $3.25 is fine. Now, where we got this thing forecasted in 48 to 60 months is $3,200, $3,200 to $3,600. So I've got much more iceberg above me than I've got below me. Now, if I want to purchase more, I can purchase more. In fact, as a matter of fact, I actually purchased here, and I purchased a little bit more, but that blue line is my purchase. So I actually did a little bit of a level down because I thought, well, shit, if we're going to go down a little bit lower, that's fine. But so let's take a look at the broader perspective here. So is all for naught? You know, I mean, is this thing going to go down to the toilet? It's possible we could go down here. I'm playing the averages. This was intended to be a scalp. But if it's going to hold me in this position and not give it to me for a couple months, then fine. Scalp can become a long-term investment, but I'm not all in with the rent money on this thing when I do it. But let's take a look at the possibilities here of what's going on. So as we are on the one-day chart, by the way, so let's get that out of the way here for a second. So I see a couple things. I see a W formation. We have a double bottom here. Now what happens with a double bottom or W formation, or an inverted M if you want to call it that one, is, you know, basically if we want to pull the TA out here, we can say, all right, from here to pit to point. Now this is a little aggressive, and you know, it would be great if it worked out this way, but if this happens to turn and go back up again, we're going to have some interference right here because we got a very strong trend line going right here. So I have a couple different plays that I could do. I could say, all right, well, I can get out with, if I wanted to, I could sell right here and pocket maybe 5%, but there's no glory in that. I can hold this and go find another sandlot to play on while this works itself out. I wouldn't even cross the street or get out of bed for 5%. It's not worth it. So I can hold through this. Now, if we get up to here, yep, if we can do it fast enough. That's the thing we always talk about on this channel, time value of money. If this can happen in the next 48 hours, I might just cash the check right here and just take my 25% and sit back because I know a crash is coming for everything else. So that was the initial intent, is I wanted to basically level up my holdings, get myself 25%, make 25% on $125,000, sit back and do that. So far, not working out. That's fine. That's fine. So I'm still very liquid on other things. Now, here's a couple things I do see. I see we got 4 red soldiers in a row. I see we're still turning down a little bit, stuff like that. It's very possible that we probably could come down about there and we might bounce, because basically what could end up happening is we might end up doing one of those deals right there. Now, could I get my money back? I never play the game to break even. Never, 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 never. Don't ever play the game to break even. So that's very strongly possible. Likely odds of that, probably 70%. Now, again, I think what's going to end up happening here, unless we get into some sort of a pump scenario, is I'm going to have to probably ride this train for a little while. which is fine. I know a lot of you guys are in with me on this, stuff like that. Our upshot odds of this panning out very well for us is not shabby at all. If I remember doing the rough math on this, I think at $125,000, I think we have to get to like $26, and I made $1 million on $125,000. If I remember correctly, it sounds about right. But don't crucify me if my math is off. I'm roughly $26, $27, I think, makes me $1 million on Theta. So can I wait? Oh, you damn right I can wait. So not too shabby. But anyway, as far as Theta goes, I'll tell you why I got into Theta, because I was trying to, and damn it, my timing being what it is, KuCoin just started. I love to do, I was looking for swing trade on TFuel, and it just wasn't happening because I couldn't find an exchange that was doing it. And, you know, lo and behold, I take a position on Theta, and within hours, they're telling us on KuCoin, hey, by the way, we just added TFuel, and now we've got trade pairs for USDT. I'm like, well, thanks a friggin' lot. So, so that's cool, though. You know, I've got more money I can play with. So, TFuel is one I've talked about many times on this channel as far as being something you can swing trade and make really good money at. And again, we're in a channel here where if we strike the bottom, we're sitting right on my line where I told you we would be sitting. If we happen to, this might be a good example right here. Let me get my thoughts together here and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So we have a very strong resistance right there, or support right there. It is conceivable that if the market comes and rolls green again, looks like we're rolling into a second session red. If we start to roll green, if we hold formation along in this area here, we could probably come back up to the top of that channel, all things being equal. If not, we're going to drop into the buy box. So this is one of those situations where if you want to try a scalp, the money is really good to be made there. So let's say, for example, if we go to the bottom of this box and we bounce back up halfway, made 25%. To the top of the box, 50%. I wouldn't hold my hopes thinking that we're going to go 50%, but 25 would be very, very doable. You can see these things move half channels all the time. So if we hit the bottom of that, yeah, we could very well work our way up to 22 to 25% profit again one more time. However, if we, much in the same thing, if we bought this and things just went down and stuff like that, is it a crime to be holding TFuel at 15 cents? Not at all. Not at all. I see a time when TFuel is going to easily be over $1. So again, much like Big Brother Theta, just a matter of waiting it out. You really, we're at prices, we're at formations, we're at levels now where the hardest thing that you've got to do is to be able to control yourself, because any position, if you're wanting to scalp, let's say it this way, if you're wanting to scalp any of this stuff and you're being halfway smart about it, you're watching the indicators, you're listening to me and stuff like that, you're taking a what the hell, you're not betting the rent money or anything that's critical. Money, by that I mean money that you can learn to walk away from, come back and find more of it later. If that's the pile of cash we're talking about, it makes infinite sense to play with something like TFuel. Take a shot. You know, when the markers are showing, hey, you might be able to make 25%. Take a shot, man. Rock and roll, baby. That's what I do with my money. Is when it makes sense to me. Right now, the market is so low, and it's going to go lower eventually. The market is so low that, you know, right, these are well calculated lottery tickets. If I can make some money here, whatever. If not, I'm going to bet a little bit of money here, maybe make 25%. If it goes down, I'll buy down here too. So that's basically my plan of attack with TFuel. So now that TFuel is, again, back to that, if now that TFuel is available on KuCoin, then things are going to get very interesting. I found it interesting also. One of the people that were up with me, I think it was happened like 3 o'clock in the morning, Chicago time. One of the people who were up with me has said, yeah, in 2 hours, they had a countdown timer that, you know, we're going live with TFuel and Theta trade pairs here in 2 hours. He goes, you think that's going to pump the market? Didn't do shit. It didn't do anything to the market. I don't know which one of these candles represents that, but it very clearly didn't do that much. So just kind of a side musing there. But TFuel is a volatile little bastard. I mean, when it goes up and down, I mean, it's not hard for it to make 20, 25, 30, 35% returns.
you know, these are one-day candles, so I know this looks like fast action, but you know, you're looking at a week right there, just within that. So it on the micro or on the macro, looking at this, it can just grind you down watching it. But here's one of the things I want to go back and re-encapsulate. I'm going to use my finger pointer here. Look at that right there, right there. That's your 200 EMA, guys. What that means is we are 47.85% under the 200 moving average, 200-day moving average. You think we're not going to come up at some point? Yeah, we definitely are going to come up. So the question is when. So right now we're kind of sitting between, it's a calculated gamble, we're sitting between a bounce up to this or a slam down to this. World events make those determinations. So you can't, some of these things you can't forecast, you just got to play the odds. So, you know, buy a couple lottery tickets, buy one here, buy one here. You know, take the ticket and take the ride. Buy the ticket, take the ride, as the old saying goes. Not easy to do when you're rocking McDonald's money, but, you know. Well, all right. Now, VeChain, kind of along those lines, I just want to cover a couple of these things because some of these are starting to get into some pretty delicious prices. VeChain is, again, just down at these levels. And my God, sub-nickel. You kidding me? You kidding me? But, oh, it gets so much juicier. Now, this one tells a slightly different story. This one's at the top of the channel, not, you know, turning down. So basically, I think this one seems to be a foregone conclusion. Now, TFuel might go up, but this one certainly says that it's going to go down to me. I don't see anything. You know, we're losing some green here. We're rolling down. Bollinger Bands are closing. Everything 5 for 5 says down, 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 down. So VeChain getting into the buy box down here at like 3.25 cents. Holy crap, guys. If you guys don't remember or have not been a part of our live stream before, I've got this. Anubis is our probably time to kind of do a little side thing here. On VeCharts, we use something called the Unfair Advantage Grid, which is, it's not showing on this chart here. We have two bots, one called Isis, one called Anubis. Isis is responsible for doing all the levels side to side. Anubis is a bot, as I talked about, that basically what it does is it gathers long-range statistical data and tells us, you know, where we can expect things to be in the long term. ISIS shows it where it'll go in the short term, and then those two collaborate, and that's how we get. And we also have something called time markers or time pulse markers, which can tell you when these things actually will go up and go down. So this chart doesn't have it. But those things are essential to being able to figure this out, because you know, if you're just staring at this, you don't understand what you're looking at. Like, well, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Well, we have this thing called TA, technical analysis. We can apply to it, and it turns out most of the time they use it against you, and it's always wrong. So our charts have a very strong degree of probability to the direction that they're supposed to go, and that's what I do at the Unfair Advantage. And so if you guys would like to subscribe, please join us at VeCharts.com and subscribe, get in. And I would highly recommend, you know, if you want to, this is something people always ask, well, what happens if I subscribe to Bronze and I like what I see? And of course, I'm sure you will. You know, I want more, you know, then you can always upgrade. You can always upgrade. And so take advantage of the 10% off offer right now. All capital letters, no space. YouTube, YOUTUBE, all caps, no gaps. And that's your coupon code. And get 10% off of any of the prices that you're seeing here. We'd love to have you join us. And of course, obviously, once you do that, you want to join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. And you can still do that anyway for free. But if you joined us at Gold or if you joined us at Platinum, say, hey, I just joined using your coupon here. I'd like to get in there, and then we'll unlock your Gold access or your Platinum access and get you in on this stuff so you can kind of see what's going on behind the green curtain, because there's a lot. We have a very, very good community, guys. You know, we've been at this for a long time. We're celebrating over a year now that we've been doing this, and you know, very few Discord communities last long. They fall apart. They start off as a good thing, and they just kind of just go to hell because of poor management. And you know, hats off to my moderators. I talk them up because they deserve it. I've got some very, very good moderators. I've got 12 of them, and you know, we vigilantly protect our community to make sure that we don't have spammers and scammers and, you know, stuff like that. We bounce them fast, man. I mean, most of the time they don't even make it into the gate. So we don't allow crap talking and shilling and stuff like that. So the people who do come into our community go, wow, this is the best community I've ever been in.
I mean, it's just not like anything else. And so, you know, for us to go over a year and still have people giving us those accolades, I'm quite proud of that. And that's something you guys created. You know, I'm just kind of the oversight people, and my moderators kind of got the they're my wingmen that take care of this stuff. But we have a good thing here, and we want to keep it good. So we'd love to have you guys come in, sample what's going on. If you're a good fit, we'd love to have you stay and contribute to us. So again, do that at the unfairadvantage.chat. All right, so back to business here. VeChain, you know, man, I just think every single one of you, McDonald's money on up, should be watching this thing. Now, again, we talked about, you know, making a buy right now if it goes lower. This is not one of those. I wouldn't look at this right now and tell you that it makes sense for you to buy this thing because all the indicators are going down. Wait it out, man. I honestly, if it gets down to $3, and let's just call it anywhere really truthfully, anywhere below that line, which is ISIS, any of those lines right there, below that line right there, you got my full permission. Just buy it like there's no tomorrow. Because Anubis has this forecasted at $11 to $13 now. Price just went up. We had a long distance 36 to 48 month for a pro. Let me see, what was it? Let me look at my thing here. Yeah, 36 to 48 months. $11 now. I'm seeing higher prices come in on long range statistical probabilities of $13 with, and it's starting to show indicators in 5 years of $17. Think about that, guys. How'd you like to be able to buy a coin? You know, because this is the hope and dream of every crypto investor. How'd you like to be able to buy a coin for, you know, two for a nickel, and have it go to $17 or $11 or $13. I mean, life-changing, even for you McDonald money people. That's life-changing. You know, life continuing. I hate to be gruesome about it, but, you know, I mean, that's the kind of money that's going to decide, are you going to live in the big house or around back in the tool shed? You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a lot of people living in the tool shed. They'll be lucky if they even got the tool shed. I mean, it's serious business. I'm making light of it, but, you know, guys, this is, I have said this many times to you guys that, you know, when I make these calls and I make these suggestions, and I don't make recommendations because I'm not a financial advisor, but you know, when I say this stuff, I say it with all dead seriousness, believing what I'm telling you, because, you know, I know that a lot of you guys like me, trust me, you know, been listening to me for a long time. And you're like, yeah, you know, this guy's got a good track record. You know, when he says it comes to pass, and stuff like that. And I know that, you know, I can be wrong sometimes, but the thing is, I know that when I tell you something, I'm going in with you, probably far deeper than you are. And so I'm willing to take the spanking or the haircut or whatever you want to call it too. But I don't like losing money. I'm a sore loser. And so the thing is, I understand that, you know, it's real money. You guys, I can change a lot of lives, and we have changed a lot of lives with the calls that we've done in the past and stuff like that. So we are in a declining market right now, and so we're looking for those things. But, you know, when you start making purchases down here in these buy boxes that I've been laying out, and you wait, by the time we get out of 2022 into 23, 24, 25 and beyond, your life is going to be so much better. But, you know, we've got a ways to go. We got to go through the muck and the mire and the bad stuff to be able to get to the promised land. You know, so we're putting in the work right now. Got to pay your dues. That's just how it goes. Better things are coming. So let's go ahead and jump over to Dent, since we got a request on Dent. Dent is very much like VeChain. I view Dent, VeChain, and Reef kind of all pretty much moving in the same pattern. Now, Dent's been Dent's been a stubborn little bastard. It just will not go down. It will not go down. It's getting there though, because we're establishing lower lows. I mean, we're swinging down. You know, ever so slightly. We're testing it. So we basically kind of done one of them deals, and so we're getting there. We're getting there. Once we convincingly get into this green, to the bottom part of this green, then we're going to know it's on. But where are we calling for? We're calling for right here. Now, for you guys that don't know, excuse me, I'm going to open up my required medicine here. So for you guys that, that's Diet Pepsi, by the way. For those of you guys that don't know what Dent is, it's a pay-as-you-go telecom company, very big in third worlds. That's the way the rest of the world's going to start working, pay-as-you-go. We're not going to have subscription cell phone service and subscription cable service. You're going to buy a token. You're going to, you're going to buy electricity and prepaid lots, and when your credits run out, you're sitting in the friggin' dark, or you're talking to yourself on a dead line. That's the way things are going to work. Dent is the future, folks. It is.
And so Dent was brought to us by
Diet Pepsi. I never touched Pepsi. Dent is a good example of the way the future is going, and I've explained this many, many times. I spent 6 months in Kenya, and they've already got this system over there. Basically, if you want electricity, you plug a thing the size of a pocket calculator into your wall, you buy credits, you enter that, your power goes on. You got to watch that little box because you might be sitting in the dark if that thing runs out. Same goes for phones. In the Philippines, I've lived in the Philippines, been in Kenya, been to Colombia, etc., etc. When you want that, you go down to the corner store, you buy yourself a little punch card that's got code, you enter that code into your phone, voila, you got X number of type and text minutes and stuff. When it runs out, you basically got a brick that's good for nothing until you go buy more money, go buy more. They call it load. When you go buy more load, then you can talk to your friends and whatever. So that's where we're headed, because it makes complete sense. Because from a standpoint, I'll just kind of cover this real quick, and then we'll get on to it. From a standpoint of why does it have to be that way? Well, let's think for a second. I've got a cell phone plan with AT&T. I hate it, but it is what it is. Let's assume I don't pay my bill. Well, how does the system work? Right now, I got to give them a check, and it's got to go through all that. Checks are done, by the way. Checks are going to be a relic of the past. It's going to be like travelers' checks at Brazil. It's just going to be a relic of the past. Going to be like Confederate money before you know it. You're gonna pay for things. So, but basically, right now I get a monthly cell phone bill. I pay it online. Auto debit. They love auto debit because that's just one step closer to what we're eventually going to get anyway. But I don't do auto debit, as I've explained to you guys before. I like to write the check so I know what's coming out of my account. But they're gonna migrate that stuff over to. We're just gonna have to just buy. Every single month, we'll just have to log on to AT&T, use your credit card or your crypto or whatever they're going to give us to trade with, and buy my credits for that month, and I use it or whatever, my package, I use it, and at the end of the month, it expires. So like in the Philippines, this is kind of a shit deal too. I'll kind of something that popped into my head. So there's a company called Globe over there, and it works very much like that. I'll talk about Rome now. There's a company called Globe over. There's two of them. There's Globe, and I can't remember the other one over in the Philippines. And this is kind of where I think we're headed. Dent could be this way too. We're basically, it's kind of like a casino thing, because you buy it, but you don't dare buy more than you need, but you don't buy less than you need. It's just shit for the consumer. But basically what I'm trying to tell you is, like, let's say you come in there on January 1st and you buy load. Well, okay, your load is good for till the last day of January. Okay, well, did you buy more than you needed? Okay, well, you just lost it. It's gone. Or if you didn't buy enough, they shut you off. You got to go buy more. It's just a brilliant setup for the phone companies. And by the way, they have a really insidious thing. They charge you for every single text you do. You know what those bastards do over in the Philippines? They send you automated marketing texts, which chews up your texting credits. Isn't that the shittiest thing you ever heard? My girlfriend used to get so pissed at that. Like, Globe would send her like 6 marketing messages a day. Just chew up all of her text messages, or just chew up all of her text credits. But that's the way things are headed. So if I weren't to pay my bill, what's got to happen? Or my electric bill, for example. They got to send a guy out with a truck. He's got to climb up the pole, cut my power, disconnect my house. And I don't have to do that in Kenya. You're just sitting there watching Netflix, and lights go off, just like that. Less employees. That's the thing I'm trying to say. Less employees. Everything's automated. You buy credits expire, AI shuts your ass off. That's the future we're facing, and so it's coming. It's coming. Writing checks and going down to the AT&T office and doing this, that, and everything. That stuff's going to be. You're going to see that in the movies. Remember when we used to do that? Right now, currently with the power company, I used to work for the gas company,
And there was like 300 people in that office. That office building now is completely stripped and empty. You can't even go down there and pay. What you got is you go into the atrium, and they got this thing that looks like a gigantic machine where basically you can slide a check in, you can put cash in. It's an automated pay thing. So they've literally replaced 350 employees with this one machine out in the lobby. Frightening, isn't it? They've just displaced 350 some odd workers in the power company with just one machine. Just completely alleviates all that stuff. So it's coming. So, all right. So as far as Dent goes, we're still watching. Probably let me get it. That is not, in the greater scheme of things, 32% is not. I did want to mention that this is the grand call is this red line here, which is getting to be more serious by the day. But really, anything below this line right here is just an outstanding purchase. But do not discount the idea that we could be in that area right there too before it's all said and done, because that would be a 65% drop down into that. I'll scoot down to Rome. I don't like jumping back and forth here. I'm not going to cover all these because I just wanted to kind of give you guys the news and information, and just kind of touch base with you guys. So I don't know if I've got this one plugged in. It's not the right one. Let's use. I actually have. Hold on a second. I actually have a little. I use Dex Screener. Not able to. All right. So what do we know? What do we know? I've been very lax about watching the news and stuff. That's what my moderators do. I have people for this, so it's in. If you guys are invested in a Rome DAO, and most of you guys are subscribers are in our chat, stuff like that. If you're with us through our program, we have a Rome DAO room where we watch this stuff. So I'm not the one who prevails the information, stuff like that. The Denarian does, and Red Bear does, and Sato does that. So I cruise through and just kind of superficially read. Now, from what I'm understanding, the game first step of the game rolls out here this week. That could be a little of the pump that we're seeing right now. Now, to go back and revisit the greatest hits. I told y'all this was going to $25. I told you way up here, and so here we are. Boom, we hit it. Actually, went to $24.50, which that's kind of frightening. Now, I've been kind of watching this. Haven't been stating my position on this. I've been kind of, are we done? Are we done? I don't have any solid thoughts on that. Yeah, I'm out of Rome right now currently too, because I wanted to see where this is going. Because I did. I saw this coming down. I thought, I ain't riding this to the bottom. So, we had a very strong bounce there. And obviously we had, I think this was whales playing, stuff like that. My gut feeling is this. I don't like what I see here. Game being rolled out this week or no. I don't like what I'm seeing here. And I have to always drag world events into this because this does not operate in a vacuum. Let's be real about that for a second. For all the best of intents of Rome coming out, and they've got a new game coming out, and it's just going to be awesome and whatever. Well, be that as it may, we've got a war going on right now, and that has real implications. That involves money. That we talked about how people handle their money. Rome is no different. As this whole thing with Ukraine shaped up, that's what drug some of this stuff down that we see. So. Yeah, Dan, you did. You're not that far off. March 19th, that's about where we're at. 19th to 24th. Excuse me. All right. So anyway, back to this. This is not going to make people very happy that I'm going to say this, but it's on my conscience, so I'm going to say it. I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised to see Rome go to $10. I just won't. The reason I say that is because, look at what we're looking at right now. Yes, I did call that as a local bottom. Was completely expected. There was a lot of reasons for that. I won't get into it. But we hit it. We walked right along it, and we bounced up off of it. Now,
you know, does this mean it's over with? No, it really doesn't, because basically what we've got here, if we're just being clear about what we're observing, we've got very classically a bear flag, and you know you can pick up the flagpoles anywhere you want here, but if you wanted to just say, all right, well, let's just use this one as an example. Let's thicken that up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let's say that that's conservatively the flagpole, and we take it from that point right there, or, you know, anywhere you like. Basically, I like to use the recent. So our next target down could be as low as 21, but you know, if you really want to get super crazy, I mean, I'm just theorizing here. If you want to get super crazy with this and say, okay, let's consider this a, you know, normally your flagpoles don't run on a 45-degree slant like that, but let's say this is potentially what we're going to consider to be a flagpole. All right, so if we were to do that, and let's just take it from our most recent high before we start to go down. That's $6.62. And you know, I said $10. So as I look at this, does this resonate with me? Yes, it does. It does. And the reason why I say that is because what kind of a price decline would we be seeing from that to that? How many times have I told you 70%? This is 77. What have I told you about smaller cap coins? The smaller the cap, the more violent the drop, compared to a big cap coin dropping 50% will drop 70, 78, you know, 80, sometimes 90% on these smaller coins. The smaller the cap coin, the more violent the fall. So yes, 77% from where we're at, entirely possible. If everything else is going to be moving, you know, 40, 50, 60%, Rome could easily. A game coin, a non-proven game coin, yeah, it could very well easy. So the question that follows that, and I know because I can hear the wheels grinding out there. Two questions that always follow with a prediction like this. When I predicted $25, I got the same question, so I'm going to answer that and stuff like that. So should I sell and reposition? I'm not going to answer that because I don't give financial advice, but I teach kind of the Socratic method when I teach. I get you to come to your own conclusion by giving you the facts as I see them. And so let's do that right now. So reason with me that we live in a world that's at war right now. All the stuff I told you at the top of the show is a fact. We've got the military scrambling. We're getting ready to give our answer to the Ukraine situation. China's posed to take over Taiwan. We got shit happening in the world. This, to be very blunt, is a fart in the wind compared to the real world that's outside the door of Rome. What does this matter to the rest of the world? Nothing. So there's a select small amount of people that are involved in this thing, so their attitudes determine the market, and generally speaking, those are the same type of human beings that grab their stuff and pull it close when things get really scary. Because if you've got the diehards that are into this thing, they're into it, whatever, and we got a number of them into this group. I'm not suggesting that this is a dead project. I don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is we have to be real about price action, and this is what I'm trying to be. I see this to be a very valid move down here. In fact, I'm just going to leave this here and see how well this pans out. I always like to kind of look at 50% to be kind of, 50% just is a weird thing. 50% puts you right at about $18.70. I have zero doubt that we will blow right past that. Just right past it. $18.70 doesn't even spook me for next move down, because look at that. We could easily do that. We've done that kind of move from there to there. Easy, no problem. So Rome is no different than the rest of this market. You have to look at it, well, damn it, got into this thing and like the whole market is down. So don't poo-poo on Rome just because it's not doing well. Nothing's doing well. Now, when it turns around, rebasing and stuff like that is good to a point. Now, let me go back to the earlier thing I was going to say. Should you sell? Well, I'm out right now because I'm waiting for the bottom. No, I'll definitely. Now, would I buy, to answer that question? Would I buy at yeah? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even if it went lower than that, I would be ecstatic to make a purchase right now. I mean, it still wouldn't be bad at this point, but knowing what I know or feeling what I feel about this, I believe it's going to go even lower. So, my target, we'll just go ahead and come right out and say it. My target right there is in that circle. I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy back. You know, when we get to this point. But I want to be very clear on this point, because I want to make sure that I come down on the right side of history with this. I'm also very, very comfortable with the idea that I have no delusions that I'm going to buy this and next week this is going to start working its way up. I'm going to have to hold this a while. Could be 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Now, buying the amount of money or the amount of coins I'm able to buy, because I sold way the fuck up here at 125. So if I sold at 125, imagine how much I can be, and I had, what was it, something like 9,000, slightly less than 10,000 coins. I had roughly 10,000 coins when I sold it at 125. Imagine what I can buy back at $6 and some change. And then, so rebasing means nothing to me, because I'll get it all back as just a couple of rebases at this. I mean, with exponentially more coins, my God. So the question is should you sell at this point in time? I mean, that's on you. But every time you step out of this thing, you run the risk that the whole world could change and it could go up. I don't basically see this thing jumping out, or I don't see this thing jumping up and going crazy. The game that they're rolling out this week, great. But, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to ramble here. It's just I got a lot on my mind with regard to this. There's so much going on in the real world that I don't give a damn what Rome has going on as far as good news. It's going to be swept under the rug and washed over with life problems. Let's just say that. So it's going to get drugged down with everything else. Simple, full stop. That's basically what my thoughts are on that. All right. So I just want to make sure I covered all that stuff and kind of get all that out here. So there it is. There's your battle plan. So I'm looking at this general area right here. I will be back in with you guys at this point in time, but unless and until we get to this point, I'm not. All right. So a few other things I wanted to look at here. Open up some of these. It's been a while since I look at Doge. Polkadot. And let's talk about Matic. Now, this one, this one basically is a real easy play to make. I've been showing you all along how this is going to play out. So this is our work area here. We're just watching for this thing to step down. Again, here's that familiar triangle. I said, we're going to have about a week or so of just meandering around, and eventually this is how the story ends. So when we get down here into my buy alert area, then anything below that wavy line right there is a great buy. Great buy. Bye, Telegram boy. You're going to do that stuff, guys, you ain't going to last 30 seconds. Yeah, algo. Actually, I did want to get algo. Sorry, I'm watching the chats here. Now, Algorand, fantastic, man. It's just been performing exactly. There's the call, there's the hit. There's the call, there's the hit. We're waiting for the next one. Anything below this line right here, scoop it up. Scoop it up. 76 cent algo. Again, not a bad price. I don't expect to bounce. Make no mistake about that. I don't expect to bounce. We've got a gigantic kind of diagonal M formation. We basically, if we want to kind of
look at it that way, which I wouldn't. We've kind of got a little bit of a trend line there, not much, but you know, we're very close to breaking past that trend line. When we do, it's going to be a waterfall drop, just going to be one hell of a drop, as I expect for all of it. So I have a feeling we're going to flash right through this, straight down towards this. I mean, it's just going to be boom. Because when you look at this, I mean, where's the resistance? There isn't any. You know, we don't have. So going from here to here is going to be a massive drop very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Because there's not going to be a hell of a lot supporting or resisting it. 40% easily. So. Yeah, back. Same goes for Matic. You know, that's probably going to be the same 40% right there, I'll bet you. Yeah. Yeah. So these numbers match across the board. Percentages match across the board. So again, polkadot, we're looking at from here down into that box, 60%. If we go to the bottom of that box, 70%. There's our number. And here's the thing: why would we not do this? Polkadot at $5. You better be buying polkadot at $5.50. So here's the move. I didn't highlight it very well, but that's a 50%. I don't know what happened with that; just disappeared. Hang on a second. TradingView's really been doing some very bizarre stuff lately here, guys. Hold on just a second. Let me reload this. I just completely lost my red line there. I didn't delete it. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, when this drops to here, here's our support and resistance. Not very much. So I expect a little bit of a stop off right there, and then right on down she goes. Because here's more support and resistance right there. So that line right there is basically about where I expected she's going to settle. So $5.65, $5.75 would be fantastic. Now, I mentioned Reef. I told you. I have been, let's revisit this here. So way, way up here. This was where the first purchase I did that went to 90%. After that, we are so far underneath my first purchase, 60%. Even I would never have believed, because it took forever to dip down to this once we shot up, and then eventually we got below it. But I would never in my wildest dreams 6 months ago believe we would be down this low, because refinances, we've got it forecasted at $3.36 in the future, and we were at 0.0088. Are you kidding me? This is another one of those McDonald's money life-changing propositions, guys. So I put my money where my mouth is, guys. I told you that, you know, as I watched this hit a double bottom, or hit a support level. I bought. What did I buy? I bought $5,000. You know, that's big spender. I bought but $5,000, guys, when it's selling for, you know, a penny, that's a lot of damn reef. So I dropped $5,000. Yeah, ain't no thing. So I bought $5,000 worth of this stuff, thinking, you know, why wouldn't I get it done? So I bought it, and you know, things are still going down. I didn't have any delusions that it was going to be a bounce. It's just what I call a safety position. Now knowing that things are probably going to go lower, and forecasting things are going to go lower down here, I wanted to make sure that if this thing happened to have a pop that possibly went up here, I was going to scalp it and sell it, because I would have basically made 30% right there. So that was the mentality. So I bought this lottery ticket idea, thinking, yeah, the indicators were looking 70 to 75% likely that it was going to go up. I thought, what the hell, I'll go ahead. But it might be heartbroken that I just bought Reef at a penny. Not in a million years. I'm perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Now, the lower we go, and we are going lower, we still have indicators down here at the 0.00 under 7 cents, and lower than that. There's the ultimate buy that I told you that we should probably be getting to. So that puts you, let's go ahead and get that. That puts you starting at around about there. So I would not be, if we win, we get down to the point where we hit this and kind of achieve it, just look at it and go, yeah, he was right. wait until we get down to the top of this box before you start making any purchases. But this is one of those again. Would somebody asked me the other day, would I buy this versus Dent? I would buy this because it's not what I would call a banker coin necessarily, but look at it this way: would you rather have a phone company or a financial company? Because that's what you're buying. Refinance is a finance coin. It's a banker coin, so to speak. It's not an ISO coin. Let's be sure that we're qualifying that. Telecom's a good solid one too, because the whole world's got to talk and stuff like that. But Reef just has got just that a little bit. I always want to go to the source, and the end game is always about the money. Telecom companies are not in the business because they want everybody talking. They're in the business to make money. Reef's in a money business, so I'm going to be closer to the source. That's why I always invest in financial companies. So Reef is a better play in my opinion. It's priced about a little bit higher than Dent is, but at the same time, it has the upward potential is infinitely better. All right, so that being said, that's kind of where I'm at with Reef on that. I went ahead and I took a little bit of a $5,000 what the hell safety position on this. Thought I'd make a little bit of money if it didn't happen. I'm not saying it still couldn't bounce, but looking at what I'm seeing now, it's unlikely. So I'm good with holding that. So I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna make the real buy deep down here in the green. All right, so ain't nobody buying this. Yeah, I don't hear hardly any of you guys talk about Doge anymore. I mean, does anybody own Doge anymore? Tell me, are any of you guys holding Doge at this point? I've heard very little talk in our group about Doge. Most people occasionally talk about Shiba, and not so much of that anymore either. But hey, you know what, Pretty Jessica? Let me show you something. It's called the exit. Get the fuck out of my Discord and out of my YouTube. Spammers are coming, guys. Moderators, watch this, please. We've got a bunch of Africans in here that are posting their crap again. Excuse me, I'm house cleaning. Okay. All right. You can always, it's funny, I spent time in Africa. You can always tell African spammers because of the way they speak. Hey, Kevin, take a hike, bud. You're not going to last. You guys that are posting, you're not going to last. No one's listening to you. You're full of crap. I usually don't engage with spammers, but we're just on a... Damn, dude. Man, they're coming hard and heavy, dude. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm just seeing like walls of garbage coming up here. There we go. All right. Okay, so Doge. Before I was so rudely interrupted. So Doge is just, Rich is not in, Crypto Rich is not in it. I talked to him the other day about this, and I said, you gonna buy Doge? He's like, I don't see any reason why. So the best buy zone is, for you guys that want to buy this, I really have no opinion on Doge anymore. I will tell you that you see a gigantic waterfall area here, that there's just no support at all. This thing's just going to capitulate all the way down into this green, and it's going to come down here. And should you buy it at that point in time? I don't know. I wouldn't. I've lost my religion for this, like I said before. So here's Shiba. So I know. I haven't seen Tiny Tank. She's selling a house. I haven't seen her. She's kind of our queen of Shiba. She doesn't. She hasn't been in our Discord for a while because I think she's in the middle of trying to sell her house in Florida. So, but you know, there just hasn't been a lot of love, a lot of support for this. I did post one thing, so I'm sorry, I'm just kind of riffing here, but I did see and post one thing, another I told you so in the Discord. So Robinhood, as we've talked about in the past, Robinhood is not going to be the great savior for this. They don't have the volume that would push this thing to these retarded prices that they keep talking about for Shiba. Now, Robinhood finally came out and said, listen, we have no intent of adding anything new, blah, 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 meaning Shiba. They came out and point blank said, we're not adding Shiba, etc., for the foreseeable future. What else do we got to talk about? Nothing. So Shiba's going to do what it's going to do. And so, you know, but AMC Movie Theater is taking it. Have you been to the movies lately? Has anyone been to the movies lately? Very few people. You know, I mean, what's that going to do for you? Nothing. So the hopium is so bad on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter. But again, it's a bunch of these skateboard kids that are reassuring, you know, this is great, right? It's cool, right? And they're looking at each other and they're just in this bubble where they're just all reinforcing each other's belief system, but it's not based upon anything. So as I've said before, it's going down. It's going down. Now, I wouldn't personally, my belief is, you know, I took the ticket and did the ride for a while on this. I did okay, but, you know, I lost as much as I gained. I don't really know whether I'm net positive or loss on this. I just don't even want to look at it or think about it anymore. But, you know, if we get down here into this area right here, you know, multitudes of zeros, let's just say it this way. If we get down to, no, let's just say that this way. If we get down to, let's say, that number. There. If we get down to that number, would I be a buyer? No. Because, again, you're still buying a lottery ticket. You're just buying more of them. And, you know, is it ever going to have its day? It might. But, you know, the thing is, I'm sick and tired of dealing with it. And the case that I've made with this coin is there's nobody with any credibility left in the space. And that concerns me largely more than anything, is there's just no credible people in this space. And so you're dealing with a bunch of financially unsavvy people that blow with the wind and ISOs, exactly. And you know, if the herd spooks and you're asleep, you're going to wake up and find, even though you paid this price, we could be clear down here. And it's likely we can be clear down here because ISIS has got a line, so we could be clear the hell down here. How'd you like to buy it at that price? I still wouldn't. Because what would end up happening is basically, you know, I mean, look at how far we'd have to go to come back. I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. You know, what about a coin burn? What about it? You know, I mean, the speculations are just endless with this coin. So, as for me, I'm a hard pass on it, and I'm out and I'm staying out. All right, so been watching this one. That was a theory. Been watching this one just kind of see what we were looking at here. Kind of suspected we were forming potentially an inverted wedge. I think we can nullify that at this point in time because we have broken the trend line here. So we had a very strong trend line here. This is the reason why I believe that. This, by the way, is populous. This is just a speculation money-making coin. It has nothing to do with anything you want to hold long-term because it's too risky to do that. You can see all the indicators. Now, we've broken the trend line, so we're completely out of that. That's nullified. The next leg down on this is very easily probably right about here. Should you be buying it at that point in time? I don't know. Let's just agree to stay out of this for a while. The reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, we have a hard market dump coming. Yeah, I'll do XDC. We have a hard market dump coming, and you just don't want to be in these really speculative coins in the middle of that because you're going to get hurt if you do. I mean, if everything's looking good and populous is looking good in relation to that, then we could speculate on the more wild moves that populous is apt to do. But I can tell you exactly what's going to happen with this. So you can see it in the cards here. So we have now broke past our action zone here. You can see that right here. And so here's what's going to happen. Our support and resistance is like right generally in this zone right here. So what's going to happen is TA will indicate to us, sorry I'm getting a little sloppy here, but TA will indicate to us that we should be dropping about that far. And that's exactly what we'll do. So when we drop that far, the likelihood that we'll bounce off of from here to here will be good. And the best it can do is get bounced back to former resistance, which is right there. So if there was any money to be made, it's that right there, which is potentially 28.97%. Risky, very risky, and I'm not going to suggest any of you do that, even though I clearly demonstrated it's possible, and I'll show you that it probably happened. I still wouldn't be a player, because with the next 2 weeks worth of military activity and stuff like that, this would be one of the riskiest things you could possibly do, and so I wouldn't suggest any of you try doing it. So we're going to sit this one out and watch it for a while. XDC, did we not cover XDC? Sorry about that. All right. Now this one's been very promising for it just keeps, it just keeps sagging lower, lower, lower. This is an ISO coin, guys. Yeah, well, there's your little pump right there. I said I expect a little upward movement. That was a little upward movement. That's exactly what we got. All right, so where we're headed with that, obviously, is looking at TA here. We're heading down to our 50% marker right there. You can see that very clearly. I'll go ahead and change that up to. Let's go ahead and make that yellow because it's gonna. So that's probably our next move down, right there. And that's going to be a pretty aggressive drop to get down there. About 30%. Doable, though. Should you buy at this? I don't know. That's going to be a decision you guys are going to have to make for yourself. Do you want to be playing bounces right now when the whole market's in a downward turn? Playing bounces, in a rapidly declining panic drop market is like trying to play the catching knives game. Most of you guys don't have the kind of money it would take to bounce back from a bad decision, so I would suggest you don't do it. I would suggest you look for the bottom or the logical bottoms. Be happy with the price, set your price, buy it, and then sit and wait for the appreciation. That would be the gameplay that I would suggest that you do. Don't try to play bounces right now. It's far too risky in every single market to be doing that. Save for one that makes sense, which is TFuel. So I always want to kind of leave that out there just as a possibility, because TFuel already the price is low enough that if you get hung holding on to it for a little while, it'll bounce back, it'll be fine. But broadly speaking, the rest of these probably not a good idea. So XDC, again, we're still watching for the ultimate target down here in this general area. So I think we'll get there. Circle the wagons back here and take one more look at Bitcoin. So yeah, the indicators they're really turning down hard here. So we're gonna be seeing a drop to the bottom of this. So it's only a matter of time before we're gonna probably start regaining down in here and start dropping. So that's pretty much it. What are my thoughts on the blackouts here? Okay, so the 21s, we haven't talked about this for a while. So my 21 group. I attended the meeting last night. We've discussed many times blackouts and stuff like that. This is kind of the way blackouts work. Is some people, when they think blackout, they're thinking nationally. If anything, it'll be certain zones, key zones: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, parts of the Midwest, whatever. It's not all going to just go down, whatever. So I wouldn't expect that nationally, because you have to understand, like here in the Midwest, we're on a different power company than down in Texas and whatever, and they're all independent companies, have independent zones, so they're not all going to go down at once. It's kind of like saying, well, all shopping is going to go down when basically Target went down, Walmart didn't even know what, there was no problem.
So same goes for power. You know, like Con Edison up there in up there in New York. You know, I fully expect those guys to go black as the ace of spades, because why wouldn't they? But yeah, I don't expect now, as far as like internet outages and stuff like that. That's a completely different scenario with cyber war and stuff like that. I keep hearing that people are having random access problems with internet and with exchanges and stuff like that. I mean, would they wipe out the entire internet? It's just speculation in my feeling, but I don't think so. I think they would take out sections as fast as they've got people taking it down. We've got people putting it up. So that's kind of my 3 cents worth. Well, no problem, Mark. No problem. I feel bad because I'm not on here every single day, guys, because it's just, it literally, I'm just repeating myself. I like to be on here and be timely with the news, like I did at the top of the show here. There's really no reason to continue to hash over the same thing over and over and over again. And the guys in Discord and stuff, they ask me, well, what's your thoughts on this? Go back and watch the last video. If I have any thought changes, I will be on VIP live streams in gold and in platinum, or I will be on public or whatever, letting you know. So my opinions don't change. If I don't make a video, my opinions don't change. Or if I don't put some sort of very direct notation in the given chart, my opinions don't change that much. So I know sometimes when things start going up when they should be going down, you think, well, maybe he changed his opinion. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's like something like this, when things start going up, I'm like, nope, that's the top right there. Showed it to you. So, all right, guys. So thank you very much here. So, and I could not be more serious about this. Be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.